Drashti Singh is a Mumbai-based lawyer who has a 12-year-old son. In May this year, she got a phone call from a stranger, a man, saying that her son was in an accident. The man told her that he was taking her son to the hospital and that he would need 30,000 rupees immediately. Now, I know in your mind you're immediately thinking, well, this sounds like a scam. But if you put yourself in Drashti's shoes, it is her son we're talking about. What if it were true? Every minute counts, right? It's a matter of life and death. So she transferred the money and rushed to her son's school. He was, as you may have expected by now, perfectly fine. She tried to call that number many times, but it was already switched off. So she went ahead and did the next logical thing. She lodged a police complaint. And the next step? Reported to the telecom authority or TRAI, right? But that's not what Drashti did, nor did any of the other tele-scam victims that we spoke to. In fact, they seemed pretty clueless about going to try for telecom frauds. But they all knew Truecaller, the Swedish call ID app. So they reported all these numbers to Truecaller and not TRAI. So Truecaller seems to be basically stepping in to do what TRAI should be doing, right? But of course, it is also taking full advantage of this. It is using this opportunity to make money from both users and other businesses. Also, very important to note here is that while Truecaller may be looking like the hero in this situation, it is a private company after all. And its success in India is also built partially on how inadequate privacy laws are here. The company has been accused of breaching data privacy norms in India. So, what is the government up to? With nearly 1,500 crore rupees being lost to digital frauds in the financial year 2021, the government is finally scrambling to catch up. The new government's first 100-day plan includes enabling TRAI to tackle spam and scam calls. But can TRAI match up to Truecaller? Welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host Nigdha Sharma and I don't chase the news cycle. Instead, every day of the week, my colleague Rahel Philippos and I will come to you with one business story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Today is Monday, the 8th of July. For a country that boasts of its digital public goods infrastructure like Aadhar and UPI, it is amazing how telecom has been so ignored. So much so that a foreign private company is doing its job. So, what does Truecaller really do? It's quite simple. It gives users the power of choice. They can decide which calls they want to take. And with the deluge of scam and spam calls that we receive, this is essential now. So Truecaller has become a user's constant companion that allows them the option to block such numbers and also mark them as fraud and spam. The company uses a crowdsourced data model to mark phone numbers as spam. My colleague Ronak Kumar Gunjan spoke to two former Truecaller executives. They said that they did not know exactly how many such markings were required for the company to push a phone number into the spam basket, but one of them did say that it varies according to the type of scam. Truecaller is basically offering welfare as a service. It offers a premium subscription starting at 132 rupees, and with it, you get features like zero ads, call recording, and a lot more. In the March 2024 quarter, Truecaller generated over $1 million in monthly revenue from its nearly 2 million premium subscribers in India. This is a 20% increase in average revenue per premium user in India compared to the same period last year. But there is a flip side to this. Stay tuned to find out. So, when a retail user reports annoying calls, businesses trying to reach a customer to deliver items or to inform them about a bill's due date do face rejection. Truecaller saw an opportunity here to make itself another revenue stream, an enterprise division. So businesses like lenders, e-commerce companies and telcos that use call centers want to partner with Truecaller to make sure their calls are taken. Industry executives say that a verified tag lets businesses identify themselves to people as legitimate organizations. Take, for example, Perfect Finance. It is a South Delhi based non bank that mostly deals with two-wheeler and three-wheeler financing. The small sized lender wanted to focus on a higher income group and target customers of more expensive second hand two wheelers. An executive there told us that the first hurdle was in reaching out to potential customers. Initial calls were answered, but soon call rejection rates soared. New leads dried up, and there was no progress towards breaching a new income group. It was only a couple of months later that the company's sales executives found out that Truecaller users had marked their phone numbers as spam. So, to undo the impact of Truecaller users, the lender now wants to tie up with Truecaller's enterprise division. The former Truecaller executive said to us that Truecaller carries out an internal 7-step process before granting the verified tag. On average, the tag easily improves call pickup rates by 30%, and some companies even report a 50% rise. The verified tag also has another advantage for enterprises that not many know about. The number of spam markings that are required to push a verified enterprise's phone number in the red is much higher than what is needed for an unverified one. But the executive said even then, if the business attracts spam or fraud markings, then it is pushed into the red. Once a number is declared as spam or fraud on Truecaller, it cannot be undone. The company does not delist numbers from the spam category in exchange of money, because that would kill the purpose of Truecaller itself. So you see, in a situation where retail users cannot stand spam calls and businesses on the other hand want to reach out to more customers, Truecaller is gaining the most. Meanwhile, TRAI is still figuring out how to step in. And what makes TRAI different from Truecaller is that its end goal is consumer protection and not profit. But telcos are not very happy with TRAI's proposal. Stay tuned to find out why. So, TRAI is now pushing for the quick implementation of something called the Calling Name Presentation Service or SNAP, which has actually been in the works since 2022. But before I tell you what it is, just a quick reminder, India has the world's second largest telecom network with 1.2 billion subscribers. SNAP is basically the government's version of a caller ID function, quite similar to Truecaller but for free. This month, telecom operators like Bharti Airtel, Vodafone Idea and Reliance Jio launched trial sessions across states such as Maharashtra and Haryana. Now TRAI wants to zero in on a launch date for SNAP, and it also wants to make it compulsory for all. And this is what is bothering the big telcos. So the plan for the telecom operators is to help share a caller's identity with the receiver and give them the right to make an informed choice about receiving calls. Now, unlike Truecaller's crowdsourced model, telcos will be using the KYC or Know Your Customer data of users shared during SIM card registrations. A Vodafone executive told us that this addresses the issue of wrong names popping up on the phone screen, which often happens with Truecaller. But the concern here is privacy. They said, and I'm quoting, if the proposal is implemented, it will become compulsory for all. Where is consent? There needs to be an opt-in service. Not everybody wants to share their identity with others. End quote. In the case of Truecaller, people have that choice to download the app or stay away from it. TRAI too needs to come up with such an option. But in either case, it is a lose-lose for the end user because they will have to part with their data irrespective of whichever service they opt in for. A senior Airtel executive said that telcos had opposed the umbrella launch of this service. They had even proposed to restrict the feature only for commercial calls, that is, a receiver should know which company is calling them, much like Truecaller for business. But now, with the SNAP plan, the responsibility has transferred from TRAI to telcos. It has asked them to specifically cater to consumer complaints related to spam calls by creating a dedicated team if they don't have one already, and also making their websites more user-friendly. So for now, TRAI seems to think that the best way to do this is to pass on the challenge of tackling Truecaller to the telcos.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of the Ken, India's first subscriber-focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber-only offerings. A full subscription unlocks daily long-form feature stories, newsletters, and podcast extras. To subscribe, head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on top of the Ken website. Today's episode was hosted by Snigdha Sharma and edited by Rajiv CN.